What's up, you fucking scumbags? We have a special episode and a special guest for you guys today. We got the one and only, the Philly kid himself, the 2020 proclaimed champ, the recently benched from the Philadelphia Eagles, Connor motherfucking McCoy. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. What's up, scumbags? Appreciate you having me here, Angel, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate you, man.
Fresh off this Talisha loss, 1 a.m. my time, and we're here doing this thing. My first appearance in the video with you, so appreciate the invite.
That first ever, right?
First ever, man.
And look, it's so convenient for you. You didn't even have to leave the other side of the country.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. If I left the other side for the other side of the country, nobody would show up. Just like that, when I just did that actually, and not even Josh came, not even Jared actually came for the early games too. So tough one. Too soon.
I know. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Next year, I told you we'll make it up next year.
I appreciate it.
But anyways, I appreciate you being on. The level of commitment is incredible. 1 a.m. You wake up at what time tomorrow?
Oh, I'm probably up at like 6:30. So this is it. Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Worth
I told you, I was like, dude, we can do it on my lunch. We can kind of try to figure out who's gonna win, or we can do it tomorrow. He's like, no, we're gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna stay up. I'm gonna suck it up, and here he is. So
just like letting the true agony of defeat roll through from the loss, or if I had won, I would just be so wired, and I'd probably be hammered if I had come off with that victory there.
I was gonna say, and you have every reason to not want to be here right now.
Yeah.
Man, let's get right into that, because that was one of the big.
Wait,
things
can we get
week.
a Josh Stagg? Let's get right into the.
Oh,
thick of
yes.
things.
How about we roll the
Thick
intro
of
first?
things.
Here we go.
Hold up.
What's up, you fucking
scumbags?
Let's go. Now let's really kick it off and get into the thick of things. Let's go, baby. So once again, we got Connor McCoy lined up for today, and we are going to kick it off with the recap for this week. Once again, we talked about this last week. There was really no purpose, no one playing for a playoff contention. Really was just more of placing and seeding for everybody. And Connor McCoy, man, you got the best luck ever. I mean, how did your week go?
Shitty, absolutely shitty. I think, but Angel, we got to touch on, I know there were a couple meaningless games, but we got to touch on the non-playoff games. So first off, got to talk about you versus your other partner in crime, who I'm filling in here today for, doubling up his score to end your season, and you finished at the guy with the second most points and somehow missed the playoffs in a league where we shortened it this year. We went to 10 to try to restrict all this corona stuff. We went to 10 people. 60% of the teams make the playoffs. You finished second in points, and you're not playing next week, man. How does that make you feel? You were that guy.
I was that guy. And you know what? The salt started with playing against your curse. Ever since then, things have gone downhill for me. So I hope that, none of your curse is rubbing off on me, but it sure as hell seems like it, man. I mean, I'm second in points by far. My team went off again, and fuck, dude.
That one win, if you won that game, you have 7 wins, and you finish ahead of Rich in points, and ahead of me in points, too.
I beat third in the league right now.
And
I beat third in the league.
Yeah.
I would have gone from second to last to third in the league just like that.
Wild. That Tyler Lockett game. And he really hasn't had a good game since, too. So tough one. Tough one to swallow. And then the other non-playoff game that I think everybody in this league was following, the Jared versus Chris matchup. And this one wasn't really close. What was your thoughts, Jared versus Chris? Is probably the most followed irrelevant game because they had that bet on the line. Jared comes up with a huge win. What do you think?
I think Chris is not going to pay up. He's not even responding to personal text messages. He's still giving the Marshawn Lynch gift, which is completely played out at this point. Like, dude, give somebody a real response, and he's not going to get his money. He's not going to get his money.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many people in this league I hate more than Jared. But, and I was 2-0 against him this year for the first time ever. But I have to give it to him. An underhanded, just twist of the knife. He changes his team name to Pass the Mostert in the third quarter of the late games on Sunday after his matchup is blown out in a meaningless game for the playoffs. Like, Jared, I love you for that, man. That was
man.
that. I started cracking up while watching myself lose to Delisha. I started cracking up when I saw that. I scrolled over because it was like the Molt game was after that. So I scrolled. I'm like, Jared changed his team name right now. So Jared wins that bet. He finished ahead of Chris.
He wins that bet. Chris, if you're listening, $50, if I'm not mistaken, $50, and that's after picking up waiver wires, even though you're out of the playoffs. Man, talk about salt, bro. You got me and Connor right here, two of the saltiest people so far right now this season for good reasons. And, bro, just pay you $50.
Yeah. Devontae Booker did nothing. Christian Kirk. I would still love to have Christian Kirk on my team. I can't seem to get him. But, yeah, man. Jared with the win. Jared finishing his year on a high note. So, let's talk about, the two impacting playoff games. I guess you want to start with Rich and Molk.
Yeah, man. So with Rich and Molk, Rich doing what he has been doing recently, and that's not showing up. I don't know what's going on with this team. It's definitely not looking, playoff ready, and I don't know what to expect out of him. But on the other hand, Molk coming out, putting out 146 points. David Montgomery coming out of nowhere and just performing in this last stretch. Deontay Johnson has been big for him, so look out for Alex Smoke, man. He's doing what Alex Smoke does and showing up when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, he's loaded at running back. I mean, I'll say he probably has the deepest running back, even more than us, more than my team, out there, just stacked at running back. Was weak at wide receiver. Mike, for whatever reason, gifted him Deontay Johnson for Jalen Reagor. I still don't understand that trade. But good for you, Alex. And he scored 146 points with Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback. Mitch Trubisky was his quarterback. So, I mean, that's how deep his team is. And he's like the 07 Giants, or what was the other year the Giants won in 2012 Giants, where they're just like picking up steam right at the wrong time for everybody else who has to play him. So
Alex Smoke equals Eli Manning? Is that what we're saying?
I didn't even think about that. Alex Smoke, Eli Manning, and he's going against one of the biggest Giants fans that there is come first round of the playoffs. Oh my goodness!
Oh, that's great.
A freight train is coming. Do we want to talk Mike versus Mike too?
Yeah,
we got to recap that game as well.
I know. So and also going back to last week where we didn't get to recap it because there was still game to be played. Josh ends up losing to Biddle by less than 1 point. Less than 1 point. And Biddle was rubbing it all up in his face, man. He was like, ha, gotcha. And he sure did. He got him, and he got his bye week coming up. So good shit for Biddle, and Josh continues his unlucky streak. But going into
Molk would be the 2 seed if Biddle had if the Pittsburgh Steelers receivers got one more pass. Yep. So how close it is, yeah.
It was crazy. And it went for that whole fourth quarter almost, it felt like. It felt like that whole fourth quarter they couldn't get one catch. Anybody who was catching it was anybody but, Juju or fucking
James Washington, Deontay Johnson. Yeah, like dumping it off to Benny Snell. It was crazy. I was watching it with Josh. It was a tough one. But Biddle's the 2 seed. Were you surprised at the lack of shit talk between Mike and Mike? I mean, it was like radio silent ever since, going into last week.
I mean, it's not like we made you guys the fucking game of the year, first time ever. But, they did all their shit talking before they came to play. And there's only one person that came to play. And that was Big Mike. Big Mike and Darren Waller just, my God. Almost put up 200 points back to back. I know he let me know tonight how upset he was that not that he didn't just beat Khmer Virus, but he was upset that he didn't score 200 points. That's what he's upset about. His only competition is himself at this point.
I mean, you can't even think of a better batch of receivers. I mean, it's honestly disgusting. He has 4 top 10 receivers in a PPR league. So Metcalf, Tyreek Hill. He's got AJ Brown. He's got by the way, Justin Jefferson's his 4th best receiver, who's like a top 10 wideout play and I feel like he has 90 and 120 and 1 every single game. But ho-hum. And then, by the way, Lamar Jackson's kind of a medium-sized bust. I'll just pick up Aaron Rodgers, who top 3 MVP. Mike, I just dropped 400 points every single week. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And his running back number 2 has been like his Achilles heel all week, all year, really, because he has Dalvin Cook, and then it's, but Swift's coming back from an injury. Cam Akers looks like the lead back. Everybody who's been ripping on him, he's been holding on to Cam Akers this whole time for that Justin Jefferson Cam Akers trade. Here we are, playoff time. Cam Akers looks like a stud.
And Swift, before he went out, is a stud. That guy's a stud. So, he found his number 2. It's not David Johnson.
He's still got Swift up his sleeve too. He's supposed to come back this week. So, and Mike's got a bye. So, man, that team is loaded.
And I got to say, I'm kind of surprised with Mike Biddle and his team and the way they've been performing recently. I wonder what's going to happen. Lucky for him, they both basically had a bye week this week. Didn't matter if they won or not. And they get another bye week next week. So, lucky for him, he only has to win 2 matches or both of these guys only have to win 2 matches to win the championship. So, because this team is not trending in the right direction right now. I'm a little worried for him. But, we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
And besides that, I mean, we didn't really get to talk about your matchup. It looks like you kind of wanted to go past that.
I was trying to dance around it.
Saving the
just
best
let's get
last?
into the predictions. Let's get into yeah. So, 2.9 point loss to Talisha. On a positive note, that's probably as close as I've ever come to her. So we're getting somewhere. But you start to have to wonder. Is Talisha into witchcraft or black magic, or is there something that she's doing that is illegal? She's taking these trips down to Mexico willy-nilly. Is there something there? Because projected to win by 25 doesn't matter. It was a painful loss. I made a dumb mistake playing Hooper over Tanyan. I was going to pull the trigger and then for whatever reason didn't. Probably this witchcraft that she has over all of us. And you know what? Here I am playing her again in the playoffs. Justin Tucker, best kicker of really my generation. I don't think I've ever seen him live miss a field goal. Misses a field goal. He made a field goal, flag on the play, they move it back 5 yards, and he misses it. So, 4-point swing there. Congrats, Talisha.
It's like
you
she
and your
has that
witchcraft
Buffalo
won
Wild
again.
Wings button, man. It's like she saw him make a kick. She's like, I don't think so. 5 yards back, misses. Justin Tucker, the most accurate kicker, and misses it. And you just happen to lose by 4 points.
Yeah.
Or by less than 4
all of
points.
that seems very suspicious.
That would have sealed it. And not only that, but your team just steamrolled last week. Derrick Henry just steamrolled last week.
And he
where
gets
was
5
he
points.
This week?
5 points this week. 5.
After putting up, 35 last week or whatever it was?
Yeah, 38 against 1/2 and against Jared.
It's Talisha is, I think, the team that Big Mike needs to worry about the most because she's got the most hidden potential. Hidden as in nobody can see it. Nobody ever sees it coming. And she's either going to put up as many points as you do or more, or she's going to bring you down to her level and make you put up 100 fucking points and still beat you.
She had lost 4 in a row coming into this game. She was in clear first place. And then a matchup against me, and she's back on track. And then I get her again next week in round 1 of the playoffs, and it legitimately is my worst nightmare. Talisha, I'm sure you're watching. You scare the shit out of me. So I don't know how else I can say it. I was hoping I'd play rich, but here we are.
She is officially the queen of tilt. I said in the chat, she is the queen of tilt. First she makes, before she made Chris quit, she almost made me quit. She turned me into a fucking salt Morton Salt Shaker, and then fucking makes Chris quit, and then puts you on this unnecessary tilt.
Yes.
And just to make it even better, like you already said, now you got Facer back to back. So
right.
with that being said,
I've played her. I'm going to drop a stat. I've played her over 6 years 10 times. A couple times 2 times in the year. A couple times 1. I'm 0-10 lifetime against Alicia.
Seriously?
Like that in fantasy, I'm 0-10 going into my 11th matchup with her.
Wow.
0-10.
It's like one of those stats that they give you on like Monday night, and then you go and bet all your money on it. They're just like, for the past 10 years, this team has never won on Monday night on a full moon against this team. But you know what I'm talking about?
So you're picking me. I love it, Angel. Let's go. You're picking me. Come on.
All right, well, let's get right into the first week of playoffs, baby. So we are officially in the playoffs. We already knew who was in. And this is literally a copy and paste from last week to this week. But nonetheless, it's still the playoffs. It's still entertaining. And this is going to be a hell of a week. Connor's going to have his chance to get his revenge against Lakeisha herself. So going into this next week, where do you see yourself lining up? Not that we can predict it, but do you think you'll have a better chance than you did this week?
Yes, I think for both of us, the matchups are a little bit mixed. You know, she has Mahomes at Miami, tough matchup, and you know Mahomes has been her workhorse all year long. But on the flip side, she's got Lockett against the Jets. She's got Mike Williams against the Falcons' weak secondary. She's got Zeke against the Bengals. Their run defense is getting a little bit better. They looked better last week, but certainly a good matchup for Zeke to get well. You know, neither of her defenses have good matchups. I think that's promising. Buffalo plays Pittsburgh. Baltimore plays Cleveland. Yeah, I don't know who she's going to play on defense. Nothing would surprise me. But and on the flip side, my defensive matchup, not that it matters, right? She's going to find a way, I'm sure. But Seattle plays the Jets. Good matchup on paper. I think Derrick Henry has a good matchup too. Really good bounce back opportunity for him, right? Going home against the Jaguars. I think he's home against the Jaguars. Either that or at Jacksonville. And the Titans are a Jekyll and Hyde team, so you never know which version is going to show up. But
sure.
You know, Diggs against Pittsburgh should do okay. He's in this like getting a lot of catches, not a ton of touchdowns. But you know, I think it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a season. Isn't that what they always say? Isn't they like they always say if the other team has won 2 times, the third time, the other team so well.
Crazy stats again.
You know, what do you think? I mean, obviously, I'm picking myself.
So
Talisha's my first step in this road to taking this championship. It'll be 1 down, 2 to go after I beat her. But what do you think?
Okay, so my opinion was actually going that same route. There's no way you lose 3 times in a row. It's just not possible. And I don't see a back-to-back 113-point performance. And I don't think her team can produce 140, 150. That's just my opinion. Zeke is looking like shit. The whole team is looking like shit. And I just don't see it. I don't see it in the cards. As much as, I don't want to bet against the curse, I have to put my money on you. I got to put my money on you. If I was going to put down money, I would have to put it on Kyler, the creator, taking it this week. You will get your revenge, and Lakeisha will finally be out, and you will avenge all of us.
Yeah, so I'm picking myself too. It's going to come down to I have Chubb and Tucker on Monday Night Football. She has Kareem Hunt, and maybe if she plays Baltimore D, who knows? But she'll have at least Kareem Hunt. And it just, oh my God, I'm going to have a tough time watching that game. Even if I'm up like 10 points, Chubb versus Hunt, it's a tough one. Yeah, because they just split carries and So I'm feeling good about this matchup, but Tyler Lockett could definitely go off just like, he's due. Mike Williams scares me. Zeke, I'm still going. The curse gets broken. I have never won a playoff game in this league, right? So I've been to playoff one other time, was the 1 seed, and I got bounced out of the first round in 2014. I'm dating myself. But, I think this is the year. I think this
maybe
is the year.
The curse only
ends.
pertains to regular season. that
Maybe.
could be it. I mean, that doesn't
Very
help
true.
you because that means you're not breaking the curse and you're still going to suck against her in the future. But who
That's
cares? As
okay.
long as you beat her in the playoffs this year, that's all that matters.
Yes.
All right. Next
Yes,
up, we
let's
got
go.
the next matchup, which is Garbage Pail Kids on absolute fire. That dumpster is just flames, 5 feet tall. And we got Kenny Brooks, the best salesman in the world, who sold himself out to have a mediocre team.
Yeah,
And-
maybe one too many sales. Feel like we made one too many trades in there. It's the team, like Thielen's not even the best receiver on his own team now. McKissick could get some run with Antonio Gibson going out. Miles Sanders, you really worry about, with Jalen Hurts playing against the really good, Saints D. I don't know. I think Moke's team is just running too hot. I don't know who he's going to play at quarterback. I'm sure he could pick up, somebody who will score him 15 to 20 points. But his running backs, man, Moke has Carson, Montgomery, Eckler, and James Robinson. They play the Jets, Texans, Falcons, and Titans. 4 of the bottom third rushing defenses, 4 top 10 running back plays. I think the interesting part about this matchup, have you noticed they're starting tight ends on the same team? Ertz versus Goddard, which I don't think I've ever seen in a playoff matchup before. I gotta go Moke here. I think Moke goes just big, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised there wasn't more shit talk between the two. Those two got way back. I think Moke wins big, and I think he rubs it all over Rich, and we probably get some vaccination jokes and some Trump jokes, and I think the GroupMe is going to be pretty lit with these two playoff matchups. But I'm going Moke, and I'm going Moke big.
Yes, I hope so. I am going to agree with you, and I hope that just with these 2 matchups, that's all we got this week, that you guys hold it down in the chat for all of us. So we need something to lick our chops over this weekend and some entertainment. So that's it. I got Garbage Pail Kids as well. And, of course, the Mike and Mike get to enjoy their weekend off. So that you guys can relax, chill. You'll be back next week. And I'm curious to see who goes through. I got you and Alex, but we'll see. Talisha and Rich are in the playoffs for a reason. It's anybody's game still. It's the playoffs. We've seen crazier things happen before. And for all we know, Lakeisha is on her streak for a reason. Maybe this is her year to win it all. So, anyways,
maybe
that's all that I got for you. Do you have anything else for us today?
Yeah, so I think we gotta give Alex a little bit more love. I think this he's been on a tear, man. If I offered you the prop bet, will Alex Moke make the championship? So will he win this game and next? I almost feel like he's the favorite, like going in, like other than Mike. He's probably the second biggest favorite.
I agree.
I'd
say
this team we left for dead a while ago, and I was the one. I was one of many.
Ago, just before,
I was one of many who was talking shit.
We're like, this dude's out. He changed his name to Garbage Pail Kids. He agreed his team was trash, and from that trash emerged fucking beauty. Look at
the number 3 seed.
It's magic.
Here he is.
Incredible.
Cool.
All right, man. Other than that, I want to thank you, Connor, for coming out. I appreciate, for sure, not coming out, but showing up on the video. Really appreciate it. Staying up till 1 a.m. really shows your commitment and love for this league. The absolute best league in America, as your commissioner would say. Best league in America. You guys have a good night. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.